How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, what I'm about to play for the royal family is going to be quite sensitive. Some know and some don't know. And I thank you, Lisa Cabrera, for your heads up. I truly do. I appreciate you, Lisa. So, my royal family, today we're going to listen to this murderer who killed Botham Jean. We're going to listen to the uncensored 911 call that Amber Guyger, you just have to, I'm like really emotional, my royal family, so just bear with me. I want y'all to keep in mind, my royal family, that she did not call 911 immediately. She called her partner after she murdered Botham Jean. And I have not wavered one damn bit on what I heard. But the way I'm going to go about this, first we're going to listen to what the media has to say. Then I'm going to play the uncensored 911 call, and we will listen to her fucking antics. Then one more video I'll play, we'll listen to Botham Jean's lawyers. That's how I choose to approach this. So let's just get into it, and then I will close it out and express how I feel. Or might even in between I may express how I feel. So let's listen to this bullshit.
Has called for transparency from the department and from the city. That brings us back to our question this morning. Should the department have released those tapes? We've been hearing from so many of you, and you guys have different takes on this. Take a look at the comments we see this morning. Pierre Hawkins, we've been talking this morning. She said, playing the 911 call will not bring him back, but it will exonerate Guyger. They will say she was exhausted and she will get a pass. Sigh. But on the other side, guys, Adrian says, really glad that you all are playing the full 911 call tonight. Everyone needs to hear it firsthand in full. Now, this morning, Tanya Iser is joining us. Tanya, I know you're hearing from a lot of viewers. What are they saying?
I think it's really just all over the map. I mean, it really depends on what your take was on this call. Yeah. If you had a hard opinion that you thought she was a murderer, I don't know that it changed your mind.
Well, so far into the process too, because here we are almost a year later, and I think a lot of people have developed their opinions in this case. This, of course, was not a tape that was released early on, as we see so often with 911 calls, but this is not unusual for it to take a long time for one to come out when it's a police-involved shooting.
There is truth to that, but I have also seen cases where, particularly in really controversial situations, we have had prior Dallas police chiefs who have erred on the side of releasing information. I remember about 10 years ago, there was a case where an unarmed black man was shot by a Dallas police officer. There was a lot of anger in the community, and then Chief Police David Kunkel, he released that dash cam video, and it showed that the guy was about to get the officer's gun, and it dissipated the anger. I'm not saying it would have done that in this case, because obviously the circumstances, but sometimes you have to err on the side of giving people more information and quickly.
Yeah, because in this case there was a real groundswell from the community as well. There were a lot of protests. You were front and center out there during those protests. If you can remind people, because it has been a while, what exactly were the protesters calling for there?
Initially, they wanted her arrested, and then after she was arrested, they wanted her fired. And I remember standing the night, I was covering one of the protests on that night when they took over the freeway. And I remember looking down and thinking, this could go one of two ways. I mean, it was a very potentially volatile situation.
You met Botham Jean's mother. You attended the memorial service. Obviously, the family going through this all over again, having to listen to this audio. What was it? What was he like? If you could kind of remind us about him, because I think that does kind of get lost in this when we're focusing on this officer's actions and her call afterwards. Let's remember the man.
Absolutely. I mean, he. I remember I was at the memorial that they did at his church on that Saturday after the shooting, and he was an accountant. Mm-hmm. He sang in his church choir. I mean, they played some of his music. He sang beautifully. I mean, he was an incredible guy, and you're right. It shouldn't be lost that he was an innocent man in all this.
Mm-hmm. You know, no matter what you believe about how this went down and what you think should happen next, when you listen to this 911 call, it does take you inside that apartment on that night, and it kind of takes your breath away listening to it. I mean, the whole studio goes silent every time we play it, and I think it has really viscerally touched a lot of people. We've been asking you this morning, you know, we've had some interesting comments. It's going to be really interesting to see how the jury goes forward in her case here. We've seen people on social media saying she's so me. She keeps talking about herself and how she feels and how she's done and how this is going to hurt her and she's effed and this and that and the other while he is taking his last breaths. But a lot of people also feeling a lot of empathy for her because you can hear the panic in her voice there. We've been asking you all morning, are you more likely after hearing this call to believe Guyger's story or to not believe it? And it's pretty resounding here. 64% saying more likely to believe her story after hearing that call, and we've had more than 2,000 people vote. Tanya, an amazing scoop here. Thanks for sharing this with the community. All right.
So, my royal family, now, we already know that this uncensored 911 call is put out as a strategy by her 3 attorneys. And remember, they 6-figure attorneys, and they had to add a 3rd one for a reason. They have a vast concern, and something is concerning them in this case, and so they haven't picked a jury yet, and so the trial will be later this summer. So to gain the sympathy of the white supremacists that will be the jurors mainly, we already know this. I'm pretty sure it'll damn near be Lily White. They're putting this out for a reason, because there is something in this case that's concerning the lawyers. So we're gonna put it out early enough so they can also get a pulse of how people are really feeling. It's a lot of different strategies in here, because they got to see what they working with and everything and stuff. And let's take note that they have not put out any toxicology report on either side, because they tested her and they tested him, and that's a vast concern too as well. So we are going to go ahead and listen to what we need to listen to, my royal family. Let's just get into it.
Get up, man.
Dallas 911, this is Carla. Where's your emergency?
Hi, this is an off-duty officer. I need EMS. I'm in number.
What's your address? Do you need police as well or just EMS?
Yes, I need both.
Okay, what's the address?
I'm at apartment number 1478. I'm in 1478.
And what's the address there?
It's 1210 South Lamar, 1478. Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm an off-duty officer. I thought I was in my apartment, and I shot a guy thinking it was my apartment.
You shot someone?
Yes, I thought it was my apartment. I'm fucked. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Okay, and where are you at right now?
I'm in, what do you mean? I'm inside the apartment with him. Hey, come on.
What's your name?
I'm Amber Guyger. I need to get me, I'm in.
Okay, we have help on the way.
I know, but I'm gonna lose my job. I thought it was my apartment.
Okay, and
Hey, man.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Okay, stay with me, okay?
I need my new supervisor. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Come on. Oh, fuck. I thought it was my apartment.
I understand. Now we have help
I
on the
thought
way,
it was my
okay? We'll
apartment.
suffer more.
Hurry, please.
They're on their way.
I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I could have sworn I parked on the 3rd floor.
Okay, I understand.
No. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment.
And what's the gate code there?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I need them. I thought it was my apartment.
They're trying to get in there. We have an officer there. You don't know the gate code?
No. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment.
Okay, and what floor are you in right now?
The 4th floor. 4th. Hey, bud, they're coming, bud. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, where was he shot?
He's on the top left.
Okay, you're with Dallas PD, right?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm done. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Hey, bud.
They're trying to get there to you, okay?
I know. Stay with me, bud. Holy fuck.
Okay, they're almost there. They're already there. They're trying to get to you.
Holy fuck. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. Holy fuck. I thought it was my apartment. Oh my God. Fuck. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Okay, they're trying to get there to you. Do you hear them? Do you see them?
No. No. How the fuck did I take it out of there? How did I do this for? I'm so tired. Hurry. Over here.
Okay, go ahead and talk to them.
No, it's me. I'm off duty. I thought they were in my apartment. I thought this was my floor.
All right, my royal family. It was fake. She keep overemphasizing. Premeditated. I know how a bitch think. All that overemphasizing shit don't mean shit. And I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking. A lot of y'all know that I'm a certified welder, and I have been on a few jobs where there's been accidents. And they have trained us in such a way, even though we're nervous and upset, we still remain professional. And some of that would kick in. You feel what I'm saying? Some of that would kick in. But I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. That's bullshit. That is straight bullshit. Like I said, I already been meditated on this a long time ago. This shit is premeditated. And there's also a reason why. Because remember, I think it was last week, remember that Lisa Cabrera put up a video about her where they are dropping a lot of her cases. It's something much deeper that her attorneys are worried about, because I get the impression the reason why they dropping what they dropping because she was Billy Badass on the streets and people are telling about her real behavior. Because, remember she went and scrubbed her social media, but she didn't leave everything out, and everything she talked about was killing and being a badass cop. And anybody that's new to the True Royal family, me and Lisa Cabrera has a channel, and we interviewed one of the witnesses, the main witness, Bonnie. And maybe y'all need to refresh your memory and go over there and listen to that interview that me and Lisa Cabrera did. In fact, what I'll do is I'll put the link, because we don't need no fucking articles. But the last thing that I want to play, my royal family, is Botham's attorney, how he reacts to this.
So what about Botham Jean's family? We've learned that they have not heard this recording. My colleague Rebecca Lopez has that part of the story.
Get up here. Just this is Carla. Where's your emergency?
The family and the attorneys for Botham Jean had never heard the 911 call made by Amber Guyger until now.
I thought this was my floor.
Neither the Dallas Police Department or the DA's office ever played it for them.
Obviously, it's a very difficult recording to listen to. This is our very first time hearing this. It'll be very difficult for the family to have to hear this after all this time.
Daryl Washington is the family's lead attorney in the civil case. He says he's more concerned by what was not said on the call.
The only thing I heard her saying was, I thought I was in my apartment.
I thought it was my apartment.
That's it. Nothing else. Nothing Botham's charging at me. Nothing I thought he had a gun.
In the call, Guyger does not say anything about Botham Jean being black, but Washington believes race was still a factor.
I always hesitate to make things racial, but I think what happened was she saw an African-American male, and she responded fast. She shot him.
Washington says the call does not change his mind about Amber Guyger.
You saw someone?
Yes, I thought it was my apartment.
In fact, he believes the call shows she cared more about what was happening to her and less about the fact that she had shot an innocent man in his own apartment.
There was more focus, in my opinion, trying to protect herself than there was trying to make sure that Botham was okay, was going to make it.
He wants people to remember that Botham Jean was a loving son, devoted friend, a man of faith, and a successful accountant.
People love Botham, people of all races. He was just that type of guy.
John grew up in St. Lucia. The entire country mourned his death, but he loved Dallas, wanted to make this his home. His family and friends want people to remember he died for no reason.
I'm so sorry.
If it is just that simple to say you made a mistake and you didn't intend to kill someone, then we would never ever have anyone in prison for murder.
I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
Well, my royal family, I thought it was necessary to get a perspective from the lawyer, which was quite fitting. And you see that they didn't give a damn. There's always disrespect that you would think that first, privately, they would consult with the family. But they gonna try everything they can to get this murderer off. All right, and I don't want to lose sight of that. And I really encourage anyone that hasn't listened to me and Lisa Cabrera's interview, listen to it. it's quite insightful. It's quite insightful. And so, you know, like I said, this is hard for me to do, but, you know, I'm going to continue to do my due diligence for the royal family. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.